Sponsored by Deck Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Deck Soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Deck Soap for that extra cleanliness. Deck Soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Hola dear, good afternoon. This is your host Leonard Gildarie and welcome to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. And we're coming to you live from our studio down here at Saffron Street, 24 Saffron Street, Charleston. I want to say good day to our boys in the studio. Raj, all the way from India, he's adopted Guyana's. Have you gotten your passport yet, Raj? Guyana passport, you have that? I don't think they're likely to give it to you. You have to cooperate with the government of Guyana. I'm just kidding there. Raj he has a good sense of humor. So I want to say good day to our beautiful people right across this land of ours and wherever you are joining us from today. And I know that you guys are tuning into us from all over the place. And you're seated in a car, you're seated in a minibus, you're in the kitchen, you're in the garden, you're seated in a hammock or wherever you are, or even lying on your bed and you have your little laptop or phone and you listen to Kaieteur News and Kaieteur Radio, rather, your favorite radio station on this beautiful land of ours. So it's a Wake Up Guyana show, and let's get things rolling. I tell you this morning, the Parliament is in session. It is continuing right now, and we're hoping that it is going to be finished on Friday. That is the budget estimate, considerations of it, and that is supposed to be finished Friday, and so it is supposed to be assented before the end of the month by the president. This morning, talking with the president is or was in Berbice. He went there to attend the funeral of the late Harish Singh. That would be the teenager who was killed in Baghdad. It is widely suspected it was a killing in retaliation for the killing of two boys. That very shocking killing of Isaiah and Joel Henry from the West Berbice area there, and you can recall the butchered body of those boys, the discovery of it would have sparked what you would have seen in Berbice, those shocking events that unfolded, the blocking of the road leading to and from Berbice there, East Berbice, and you would have seen people being beaten, vehicles set alight, and the government has made it very clear it intends to get to the bottom of that for the Guyanese people to get actions. And so while that investigation is going on, the police are stumped a little. Guyana has asked for international help, regional help, so that we could be able to solve this issue here, this case, which has angered so many, and they want to see a couple of people charged and placed before the court because a number of persons would have been involved with that. So the president has attended that funeral of the little boy, the grandson of the main suspect or one of the suspects, who was initially arrested and let loose. And this boy was killed in the Baghdad, and it's widely believed in retaliation, or so the story goes. We don't know, we don't have anything, but the president was there giving condolences to the family at a funeral home in New Amsterdam, although the boy is from the West Berbice area. So that is what I have to tell you there. There is a 25-year-old, and this has to do with COVID-19 now, is dead, and so this is a case that we'd have to pay very close attention to. You would understand that it's not for the old, it's not for the senior citizens only. You could be as young as 25 years old, and this person is dead now. He was under the care of the public hospital, went in there, and there were not a lot of much details coming out from the ministry, but this man died, and he's just 25 years old, and very, 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 very young at that age here. So There is also, I must tell you, based on what we've seen here, there was a prison break. One person is on the road this morning, and the police officers, the prison system would have issued a statement asking if you know anything, and I'm going to pull that up in a very short while. Let me see what his name is. Yes. At approximately 1:30 today, Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020, remand prisoner Leroy Graham made his escape from the Lusitania prison. He's charged for armed robbery and was admitted to prison on August the 20th, 2020. So it was last month, just over a month ago. He came in. He's age 23. He's from Boxton, and this man here escaped from prison, and he was there for armed robbery. So if you on the road, the according to the photograph that was taken, dreadlocks and everything, and so he's just in his early 20s there. So look out for Leroy Graham. He's considered to be armed and dangerous, and so be very careful. You know what you have to do if you know the where he is, or you want to do something about it. You should call the Lusitania Operations Room 220-4173, 220-4173, or the nearest police station. So in the meantime, while I ask my boy here, Raju would set me up on this computer here so we could be able to. Where is he? Um, so I am gonna ask Raj. Well, we have Joshua here, so I'm gonna say good day to Joshua. But in the meantime, let us see some other news that is making what has made the headlines today in Kaieteur News, and of course on Kaieteur Radio, your favorite newspaper and radio there. So there is on the front page of Kaieteur News today. It's September 23rd, 2020. And this is what the Kaieteur newspaper would be saying today. Government launches investigation into asphalt plant racket. Harbour Bridge management distances itself from the allegations. And so this is an interesting story. We would have carried the story in Kaieteur newspaper, I think, yesterday. And immediately there was some response from the Minister of Public Works. This is Juan Edgel, and he's saying that, this is under my ministry, both the Demerara Harbour Bridge, which has oversight of the asphalt plant operations in Guyana there. And he's saying that right away we're going to do an investigation. The allegations are that asphalt is being siphoned off there, and the state is losing millions of dollars annually. The Harbour Bridge is saying that our system, we could only deliver based on the orders that we have. So they've already distanced themselves for that. And so let's see where that goes. Main headline: PPP must not repeat APNU AFC's mistakes by ignoring advice to renegotiate Stabrook deal. So the pressure is on. The pressure continues on the coalition, on the ExxonMobil, and on the government to ensure that, let's don't walk this road here, let's don't go along this road here, is which the coalition would have been walking, which is that they seem to be very reluctant to have started any moves to see if there's a renegotiation of the Stabrook deal, in which Guyana has been given the short end of the stick to hold. So I want to say a good day to Elizabeth Sunich. I know that she's ailing. She's one of our big, how you say it, very, very dedicated listener to this program here. Has been from day one when we were on the different name, which is the elections and COVID-19 watch. And then, of course, with the evening room 592, with Dr. Yog Mahadi and myself, she would have been there. And I understand that she's not doing so well. So I want to say good day to you, ma'am. And I hope that you're doing a little better today. $95 million allocated to replace ministers' damaged vehicles. This is coming from Minister of Governance Gildarie, and she's saying that several vehicles that were handed over by the coalition to the current ministers, that they were not in good condition. Seats were ripped and radios not working, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they have to fix it, and they say some of them were so in such a bad shape that they can't possibly use it. And so they asked for $95 million. They were, of course, questioned about it, and they said that the government says that they will provide more information in the coming budget. However, they need this $95 million. It's for the president and the prime minister and some other vehicles that they badly need, security reasons and so on. 93, and this is a story that you guys would be interested in. 93,000 households benefit from $1.8 billion in hampers. Prime Minister Mark Phillips would have said this yesterday in the National Assembly, where the consideration of the budget, 2020 emergency budget, is currently ongoing at the temporary locations there at the Artichon Convention Center. And I must read the story to you because you guys would have been asking, what is it about this $25,000 that is happening? So this 93,000 households to benefit from the hampers. This is separate from the $25,000. And so I'm going to read the story, and so you could have some clarity as to where exactly government is going with the COVID-19 assistance to families hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, making good of their promise to support families who've been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The People's Progressive Party Civic Administration has budgeted $1.8 billion to supply and distribute hampers to some 93,000 households across Guyana. This and other details were disclosed by Prime Minister Mark Phillips during his presentation to the National Assembly's Committee of Supply on Monday. This is Monday, sorry. So, according to the PM, this COVID-19 relief is the one that will benefit Guyanese all across Guyana, as he highlighted that an estimated 38,000 households in the hinterlands would also be in receipt of these prepackaged supplies. And so this is good. It's going to a lot of places in the hinterlands here where people, residents, does not have, you know, any access to help or so on. So in those areas where it's so remote, the suffering would be magnified in so many ways. So we understand that, and I'm really sorry that we have to, as a people, go through this. It's not only Guyana, all across the world, but we have to deal with our own thing. Charity begins at home. During the presentation to the Committee of Supplies, opposite Member of Parliament Jorman Figueroa, oppositional member of parliament Jarman Figueroa had queried what method would be utilized to select the vulnerable household. Against this, PM Phillips indicated that there was a process which entailed online applications, and based on these responses, they would follow an assessment program which determines who qualifies for those hampers. Persons on the coast can apply online to pre-qualify for a hamper or any other form of government assistance, he said. So you have to apply online. The Economic and Social Subcommittee of the COVID-19 Task Force, which is working with the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security and the Civil Defense Commission, will manage the process to ensure that households benefit as the criteria mentions, Prime Minister Phillips says. Based on the work done by all the agencies, including the Civil Defense Commission, 45% of the population is deemed to have a need to be given assistance and support during COVID-19. So this is significant. He's saying that just about half or 45% of the population. I think it's a little more. I think it's much more than this. A lot of people have been calling that they said that they need some kind of assistance during this COVID-19 pandemic. Based on the percentage, we arrived at the target figure. That is the PM saying that. He also said that the initiative is separate from the $4.5 billion relief, popularly known as the $25,000 cash grant measures, which President Irfan Ali announced earlier this year. Of the budget, the PM said that $133 million will be allocated to transport the hampers to the communities. So this is interesting. So there is going to be a process. Bottom line, the takeaway from this entire process is that there is going to be a process to apply online for this hamper here, and about 45% of the population is going to get some help with hampers. This is aside from the $25,000 per household that they say that they're going to give every household to Guyana, and that in addition to that, the ministry says sometime next year, this is the Ministry of Education now, they are going to be given $15,000 per child in assistance, and they also have raised the uniform allowance or the uniform voucher to $4,000 per child. So this is interesting, and so when you would have been asking as to when, the big question would be when. Well, we are waiting. We don't know. They have to go through or go through the whatever it is that they have to go through the processes, and I guess they are going to make their announcements from there. That's what I could be able to tell you. There is something else that happened this morning that I must share with you. There is a Leslyn Couchman, and she's in her 50s of Comaca, Upper Escobar River. She said this morning her house burnt to the ground. She was left only with clothes on her back and a few wet laundry. After her house was burnt completely to the ground, this happened around 9:30 this morning. She says she was washing clothes at the riverside, and this is a remote area up the Escobar River. When she heard a loud explosion, she turned around and saw her house engulfed in flames. And she also happens to be a regular listener to this program, the Wake Up Guyana Show. And she's asking if anybody is listening and willing to help. You could call her on 677 3165. This is Leslyn Couchman. 677 3165. Her house burnt to the ground this morning. She was left with the clothes on her back and the clothes that she was washing. This is very, very, very sad, and it's something that we could do without. We have to be very careful. I plug out leaving in the morning or going anywhere. I make sure that I walk around the house. I plug out almost everything that is plugged in, and it becomes a habit now. Even going to bed in the evening, in nights, I would make sure that I plug out everything, especially iron and things like that. I don't want to be caught. I'm very, very fearful of fire and the damage and so on that it could do. Imagine you're working so hard, barely paying your mortgage, and you're barely living, and your house goes down. Or you would have been living in it for years, and then you have it there. So it is not an easy thing. We have to be very, very careful. We have to care what is ours, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's the clothes on the back, whether it's a home. Do a little thing every weekend. You do something. Do a little washing here, wash your yard. We have to do something that you don't sit still. You don't sit on your hands and expect things to happen. Man is not going to fall from heaven. You have to make things happen. So, cop civilian accused of stealing parts of dead policeman's motorcycle. This is a funny yet serious story. Apparently, this cop, two cops, the one cop went into an accident. He died, and the bike was a big bike. It was parked at one of the police station down in Burbs there, and two cops saw it, and they conspired with a civilian to steal the parts. They did steal the parts, $700,000 worth of parts, and somebody complained, and the police investigated and arrested these two cops and the civilian, charged them. When they went to court, this is a feel good story. Now, when they went to court, the lady, the wife of the dead cop, whose bike it was, asked the magistrate to feel that she is sorry for these two cops and just, allow the matter to ride. So that's an interesting story. Six suspect in custody for the Henry boys. The rice farmer grandson to be laid to rest today. So we already spoke about that, and so let's see where this case is going. We're not gonna shy away from it. A lot of people took advantage. Some politicians were stirring the flames, whipping up anger among the people, and people were beaten badly. So we need to get to the bottom of this. And we this morning, I must tell you that the ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission, made contact with myself, and they want to come out a little more. The Ethnic Relations Commission is a very interesting organization, which is a regulator for all ethnic situation, race issues, and so on. So if you have somebody online or so doing anything that has to do with racism, that is stirring the ethnic flames there or pushing the wood into the fire there, you could complain to the Ethnic Relations Commission. So they want to come on to the radio here and maybe educate the people of Guyana what they do, and maybe people could utilize the services a little more. So that's very good. I like proactive attitude like this, and there's a good stance that the ERC, Mr. Shiv Landlal, how you doing, sir? that they're doing there. We don't have anything to hide here. So how we have the story, my mom says that my mouth is tears, so I'm always going to be talking things out of the way. I talk things that come to my mind. I can't keep it on. However bad it sounds, whether it's attack on my personality or not, that's okay. Wherever it goes. COVID-19 death rate above one per day. This is extremely shocking. Very good story here by one of our reporters, Kimal King, and it looked at the statistics over the last couple months, and then it looked at what happened in August and so on. And it says right now there is one every day somebody dies from COVID. So this is something that is very, very worrisome. If you look across the world, India, one of the biggest democracies in the world, is grappling right now, is playing catch up to the United States. We have 200,000 deaths in the United States right now, and India is playing catch up with the number of cases there. So thing is really, really affecting our people across the world. APNO FC wants government to mandate 50% of oil subcontracts for locals, but they had refused to set targets while in office. So there's an interesting story again. The coalition is saying, we want everything, the subcontracts that is being given out. We want 50% of it going to our locals. But when they were there, they dragged the foot on it. This story is saying that. And so we go through our newspaper here very quickly. Let's see what happens. Because we want to get to the lines in a very, very short while. 226-7453. We are going to open the lines in a very short while. So because we want to hear from you. This morning I had some visitors at the office, and the lady said, "Take off your mask. I need to see your face." So I'm going to tell you a little about that story there. I want to say good day to Auntie Ruby too. Auntie Ruby came all the way from the West Bank of Demerara, or the West Demerara area. She always brings things like mithai and plantain chip, and she makes a very mean snack. When I tell you some of the best that I've tasted, even the big shops can't compare to her. And she is a bundle of positivity. I want to say good day to Miss Rose, to Miss Ruby there. I really like your energy, man. And this is another story here. 140 prisoners tested positive for COVID-19. You remember over the weekend, Kaieteur News broke the story that the government wasn't talking about it, but they were testing of some prisoners, and that's why the prisoners were a little upset because 140 of them, I think this is maybe, let's say about 500 of them are there at the Lozignan prison. You're talking roughly there about 25%, a quarter of the population there is COVID-19. So about 80 of them were taken to the Madawini location where they're being kept in isolation there. So this is a very worrisome situation, and the Minister Robertson being questioned in Parliament yesterday talked about the two deaths of those two prisoners over the weekend. And you'd recall that the minister was there talking to the prisoners when they were assaulted. People, I think a couple of the inmates started pelting them, at least that's how the story goes. And there were two ministers. This is Minister Robertson Ben and Minister Frank Anthony were forced to flee, and then there was an attempt to break the gates open. That's how the story goes. And there were some shots fired when the smoke cleared. Several persons lay on the ground. Two persons later died. So that's a very worrying situation there. We have to continue to pay attention. When so many people gathered in one place, it would have always been a recipe for disaster, and it is what we find in our 140. This should make the headlines because this pandemic is not going to go away for a little while. CSEC and Cape record improvement despite the pandemic. This is a good story too. Um, we have children who are really, really suffering, suffered during this pandemic, and still a number of them went out and right. And when you see what they would have done, it says a lot about their character as a people of Guyana. So I want to say wake up to all Guyana as we continue reading our favorite newspaper here. This is the Wake Up Show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and we're coming to you live on 99.1 in Demerara and Esquibo and 99.5 in Berbice. I want to say good day to all the car drivers, the high car drivers, the taxi drivers, the minibus drivers, all the housewives, and all the how you say it, husbands, if there's some of that in Guyana. I think I know a couple of them. If you're home and you're doing what you have to do, and of course you tuned into your favorite radio, I want to say good day to you there. 49 Guyanese stranded in Suriname since March returned home. This is good news. You know, they couldn't come because Suriname does not test like the way the Guyana tests. And so they were stranded since March when the President Santoki of Suriname came for the inauguration of President Ifranali. He would have they would have had talks about these people that were stranded there, Guyanese people stranded there who want to come back, because you couldn't come back just like that. The COVID-19 rule says you have to come in, make sure that you're tested and those tests are negative, and so they couldn't do the test there. So they arranged the test, and those 49 returned home this week since being stranded in March in Suriname. So it doesn't matter where you go, whichever country you go, and how beautiful that country is, you want to come back to your beautiful Guyana. And there's another interesting story here. Gayoil's profits increased by $1 billion, $1 billion there. And so we would have been talking, sometimes this is a story that has me a little upset. I'm not sure. Our companies in Guyana must make a profit, and this is a state-owned company. We need to pass some of these savings on. It's not so much about profit. Sometimes we have to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is if we could pass, reduce some of the cost of gas to our people. I think people are not going to kill Gaioil so much that they haven't made a profit, or they have made so much money, but they made $1 billion in profit. So it meant that it was the normal Guyanese people that would have been paying these high prices for gas. This is not something that I would be crowing about, but it's something for us to think. There's the other flip side of the picture, and so we have to make sure that we pay attention. Our folks on at Gaioil, I know that Mr. Chung and the rest of the folks there, he's the chairperson there, Paul Chung. I want to say a good day to you, sir, and I want to make sure that you understand that the people are paying attention. There's some very good stories in today's newspaper. Extended tax returns due date is September the 30th, so within a couple of days next week Wednesday it is, that the companies who are obligated to send in their returns, they have to do that. So make sure that you're paying attention. And this is a story that is going to be of interest to the people overseas. The government, the foreign ministry, has established a diaspora and remigrant unit, a remigration unit, and they are looking to increase talks with our diaspora, our people who are living abroad, and so they could talk to them about ways they could make contribution to Guyana. So the government has reintroduced this. It's a remigration unit, so I presume they're going to offer concessions for Guyanese that is going to come back, and this is in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And let me tell you this: they have also put, if you need some more information, you could let me share some of the information that you could call them on. 226 1606, 226 to 8, and the extension is 339 or 340. So if you want any other information, you're living abroad and you are a Guyanese and you want to come back here, maybe you could call them there, 226 1606 to 8, and the extension is 339 or 340, 339 or 340. And you could call them and ask you how you could get back to Guyana, what are some of the benefits that you get. I presume you're going to get some concessions on your vehicles, on all your household items and so on. And of course, if you're bringing back your money and you come in with your skills and so on, you could be able to come with that. So the government is opening the doors, which I kind of like, because we have so many people who are abroad who want to come back here. But let it don't just be just a program there. There has to be follow up. There has to be, just like how our Guyanese people are benefiting, the migrants who are coming back, there should be clear lines that are drawn out there. Um, and so let me see if there's any other story. Okay, the United States is saying that it's not only, this is the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown is saying that not only the U.S. Official Mike Pompeo would have been the big gun to have come to Guyana. There are many more to come, including private sector officials. So they have made it very clear this is not the end all. There's going to be several people because we are interested in that. AG signals investigation to Larry London's birth certificate scandal. So this is a situation where 20,000 birth certificate application forms went to a Florida company that has a questionable track record, and the center of that center of that company is a senior official within the coalition, Larry London. He would have been seated at the Civil Aviation Authority there. He would have been also named as a director of parks, and I'm not sure what that is, but so that's the story there. Bandits foiled an attempt to break into ATM at Courtyard Mall. I can't remember this happening. You remember for a long time I can't remember anybody breaking into ATM. Did they? I can't remember. This is the first time. I know in Trinidad, the guys I heard stories that they would break in. They don't want to break into the ATM anymore. Those remote ATMs. They take the whole ATM and the safe and everything and move it off, break it out, and they take it away. So there's another sad story here. Truck driver was killed. Mike Honey, I think this is in the wash clothes area there, Branch Road area there. He was in front of a truck and he swerved to avoid a pool of water, fell down, and the truck ran him over. So there's condolences to the family there. And of course, we're back to that 25-year-old who died. You guys got to be very, very careful on the road. So before we head to the lines, I want to say it's 2267453. And of course, you could send those messages 6222222. Let me see. I have to read a couple of things here first. I've been asked to do that. But I did have a chat recently with Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chan, and she says as soon as this elections, this COVID-19 budget that we have here, that is being looked at, considered by the National Assembly is passed, she's going to make herself available to me. So we are going to wait. But what she indicated that there is about 180 something thousand students right now that it's going to be a headache. Because I did ask her, a lot of people complaining about laptops and they don't have access to those smart devices in which they could take online classes. And she says it is a consideration that the government is very, very much aware of. That she's also saying that it's very difficult to find those kind of resources to get every household at the moment. But it's something that they're seriously considering. They understand the pitfalls, but they're saying that also they're going to give every student $15,000, and they're hoping to have some smart company come into Guyana, or maybe a local company, which is going to say, look, we're going to offer a smart tablet or a tablet or a laptop that is going to be affordable under $15,000. So this $15,000 is going to go to student is maybe for technology for the kids, for the students, and that is how the government would be looking at it. And so that you could utilize those monies to probably to buy the laptop or to buy whatever it is. That is on the long term. In the meantime, they are scrambling to see how they could reach a couple of local businesses to see whether maybe they could sponsor some schools. I think those are one of the ideas that they're playing with. But I'm going to wait until she comes and maybe we could talk about that, because every single day I'm receiving so many calls from persons, so many texts from persons who are saying, that we need some help, and could you get me some help? So better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. And this is the CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. So in the meantime, I think, Raj, we should be headed to the lines. Do we have any callers there in the meantime? Yes, go right ahead. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon.
You're the first caller, so go right ahead.
Gildarie, Mr. Gildarie.
Not Mr. Gildarie. Leonard is the name.
Oh, Leonard.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a regular listener to your program.
Yes.
And I want you to think about this thing. Now, they're giving pensioners $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why couldn't they retroactive from the very 4th of this month? Now, the point is this. We are all human. They are human. We are human. We work and they work, and we help to develop our country. Can they take $25,000 and live on it? We are human.
Mm-hmm.
They can live on $25,000, but they're giving you. Well, labor have to pay tax and help develop the country, and $25,000, right? Can they live on $25,000?
It's a very good question. And my
Can
question
they?
to
And where you look, a loaf of bread is $300. A bottle of drink is $300. Then the pensioner you cannot get nowhere in all the hospital, nothing. You have to buy everything, right? You have to pay transplant. Can the ministers and the government, they can live on $25,000, and we are the one who have to work to pay them. You hear? I mean, think about it. Now they're giving you a 4 or 5 increase till next year. Now they're taking our VAT from this, that, and you know what the shopkeeper them doing to people? They're killing you. They're killing you.
yeah, I see everything really gone up now, man. Things gone there. I heard some prices.
The $25,000 now is not even a week for upkeep you. And why they didn't give it retro?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how they're gonna do it. We're gonna have to wait to see how they're gonna do it. But I know it's some January it's gonna come on board. That
Yes.
25,000. But it is. You see, it's a big issue. Where do you find the money from? I'm not sure. They gotta know what they met in there and what they could really
Yes.
think, and how do you spread the money out. But I agree with you. $25,000. I see it
Let
every
me
single
tell
day.
you.
People call me on that.
Brother, let me tell you, people are suffering. When you look at some old people and they have nobody to upkeep them. Even they have children, the children got to fight for their own future and their children, they can't help with you. And old people got to go to doctor, got to this. You understand me? That is what, why they don't take $25,000? Why they don't take it?
Well, we could blame all the government of doing
All.
that because all of them.
All.
This is something, and this is something I'm so glad that we have in this conversation. Now, it goes to show, right? And maybe when you rob the year, because I don't want to finish. You calling from a landline?
Yes, dear.
Okay, good. So one of the things that I'm thinking that we have to start changing our attitude with regards to the way we do things. There's a lot of people who have been, they work. They work for themselves. Either they have a farm or they have a shop or they got a body workshop. Whatever it is that they do as self-employed. They never see it fit to pay that NIS. And so when you reach that 60 or 65, when you're eligible for that old age pension, you're not going to get the NIS. And so the NIS would have been the one to supplement you, to give you that extra help with the old age pension. A lot of people falling through the cracks because they never saw it. They have a nice time to take the money that they're supposed to pay NIS and they go sport with it, or they just didn't have enough, whatever it is. But it goes to show how important it is that the NIS has come back into play this morning. I called the general manager of NIS this morning, and this midday before I came up, because I really need them to come on board, and I really need them to make sure that we have people to answer. But to come back to your question or to your observations here, I fully agree with you. $25,000 could never be enough. Could never be enough.
A bottle of drink, a loaf of bread, right? If you're going to buy a pack of butter for wrap and the little bread, man, think about it. Old people really suffering.
It is. And
And
it's
the
something that we
another
keep pushing.
children.
This is something we keep pushing for. And this is also why that's why the newspaper, I think Mr. Lal is pushing also for this oil deal that we have here. If we could get some more money off it, just even a percentage more, it means hundreds of millions of dollars more in our kitty jar, in our bank accounts, so we can look after our people. We need to get it right. Our money is here. We need to fix it, and it's impossible that we should be looking at this now. The coalition had the opportunity to do it. They did absolutely nothing about it. So this
Here.
government is,
Listen to this. Everybody think about themselves and full in their pocket, and they want better life for themselves.
and it's a very sad thing, eh? Nobody's look.
Everybody
What happens to
thinking
the people of the
about
country?
themselves, full in their pocket, and life for them must be good.
Right.
There's nothing about nobody. Thank God we can look to our Father up above, and He can open doors and make a way for us.
I'm glad that you have that attitude, ma'am. Thank you very much.
That is my desire, and that is my, all the time I look to Him.
Very good, and
Because
keep that.
listen to me, brother. The word of God said, nothing good will he withhold from them that love him, walk uprightly and obedient. He will open doors and make a way in your life. Don't look to man, look to the Father upstairs.
Thank you very much for that, ma'am. Have a
Oh, you have a
pleasant rest of
blessed
the day.
day.
Good, good hearing from you. So very quickly, let's go to some. We have some messages here. Good day, sir. Please shed some light on this hamper situation. My husband and myself are both pensioners. We don't know how to apply online. We need to get the hamper help. Thank you very much. You need to get somebody. It has to be done online. You got to find somebody in the area there, and you have to get them to help. And there's another issue too, because everybody's going online and they're filling out these things here. Or you could call the Ministry of Human Services there. I am gonna try to as soon as they announce how they're gonna do it, where online and so on, I'm gonna tell you folks. But right about now, when they start that, they haven't started the processes yet. At least I don't see any information on that. You guys would have to get somebody in the area, maybe your grandchildren if you don't have anybody, or somebody else has to do it in the area there, and let them fill it out from there. Or if you can't do that, you could probably try to call them and let them call you back, and maybe they could take your information and fill it out. But they have, I think, more than less than half of the population, they're saying, is eligible to some of this thing. And so it's $1.8 billion, 93,000 households is going to benefit from a hamper, and this aside from the $25,000. So in the meantime, I hope that I answered the question there. Um, uh, Somebody sent me a picture here. The picture below shows the color of water that I've been getting not a few days ago. This is not a forest, but many times. My bills are paid every month, and sometimes it's estimated high amounts, which is ridiculous for my users of water. I'm very dissatisfied with the service, and so I'm going to send this to myself. And I understand what you're saying here. And this is from the West Bank, Demerara. This is a sisters village, and the person is complaining about the quality of water there. Um, okay, good, very good. So we're back. All right. Um, this is coming all the way from my friend Derek, and he was somewhere in the Middle East there, and I think he went back to the U.S. and he was listening to us, has been tuned in to Kaieteur radio for a very long time now, since we started back in March. It's such a long time, huh? Leonard, welcome back. Allah is on your side. Let's get the Ganza law enacted as soon as possible, free up some space in the prisons. COVID-19, my fellow Guyanese, please cooperate with the government to control this pandemic. Respect yourselves and others. It's real, my friends, all over Europe and the Americas. This virus is active. So happy that the budget was passed in favor of Amerindian brothers and sisters. It's our forest people. Let's respect them. Happy that our president demanded the Chinese complete the airport based on the original plan. Free Wi-Fi for school kids. The world is now virtual. I want to thank you very much for that, Derek, Mr. Hawker, and your advice has always been very good to the people of Guyana. Good day. Hope all is well with you. Please provide us information how to apply for the COVID relief. I did tell you as soon as they come out and tell us where to apply. I'm going to read it out to you. We're going to go through it. We're going to have a whole session on that. So thank you for No, I don't know who that is. Okay, somebody can't listen to that. Hi, good afternoon. I'm a single mother living all the way at Present Hope, East Bank, Esquibo. I think Present Hope. I don't know that area, but I presume that said it's East Bank, Esquibo. Present Hope, East Bank, Esquibo, with 2 children in grade 6 and the other in grade 3. Thank you very much. And the other one, somebody is saying, I'm not sure. Okay, there's another thing here. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. You're a phenomenal person. Your program enlightens us and keep us up to date with the news and other information. I want to say a special thanks to the government of Guyana to assist us in this pandemic, and also to, let me see what to say here, who pays a lot of attention on and all the people from the Fort Island area. We love your program, bro. Hope that you visit our island one day. So a good day. Yes, a lot of people would have been contacting me from Fort Island. A good day to the people of the Fort Island Esquibo River there. You guys take care. Have a very splendid day there. I know it's a beautiful island, and some of you guys should take a walk there sometime. We have some beautiful people in Guyana, beautiful places as well. I'm the person that asked you for help with the NIS, and this is from the NIG. I had an accident and my feet crushed between ponds, and now the Albion estate don't want to compensate me in nothing, and NIS just give me a disability of $13,000 a month. I have three children. One attends secondary school. I just write grade six exam. One just write grade six exam, and the person is asking for some help here. So of course I got you there. I got you there. Um, I'm good morning. Well, this is since this morning here. I think so. I think that's it. Raj, could we go back to the line? I think we ran out of messages now. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm okay, trying. I will begin by making an example and then say what I'm going to say. I remember I was living in a house at one time in my life where when the rainfall it was legal. And I can spend a lot of time complaining about that, but what I did is I got some pot. If I just sleep if I hear the rain, I run by where I know each hole and put the pot. The point I'm making is we're in a COVID-19 time. Instead of waiting and planning for when it is over, each ministry, each business has to come to a place where they learn how to adapt in this time and how to still do what they have to do. One of the things about the education system, especially kids from 1 to 16, you cannot expect them to sit unsupervised in front of a television, laptop, or whatever it is. They need that one-on-one teaching and teacher, classroom, student relationship. And somehow we have, even if it's one class, 1 day a week, somehow something has to be worked out. Because many people are complaining about the slowness and the fastness. The thing about a teacher observes which class, which student is slow and what they have to do to help them. The TV wouldn't do that. A smart decision doesn't know that. So the ministry has to look at that and look at a way. Even if it's 1 day a week for one class. The grade 1 come 1 day a week, Monday, grade 2 the next day. By the time you finish 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you stand aside the school, prepare for the next day, you do it, and then you still do the online course, but make sure you have at least 1 day a week for each class, some kind of presence in front of the teacher, where they also receive these handouts. We are also working backwards when it comes to our prison system. Our prison system has been one way. When they went to Lusitania, it was because of that fire. It was supposed to be a temporary place until nobody have not started building anything, extending anything.
Priorities, my friend. Priorities.
Yeah, what do they expect to happen? They have so many men in that one place. Regardless of what they did,
Right.
they're human beings. We claim that our prison is a rehabilitation center. So we have to start thinking along those lines. And when I say thinking along those lines, let prison become a productive area. Some farming, some things where these men could burn up, but put something back into the state. So it is something that we're not just a budget got to be made, but the prison itself is making the money. And the prison officers, I saw some videos on TV, on Facebook, how these prisoners get home. It's not me or you kind of thing. It's prison officers kind of thing. Then you got
Of course, of course. The prison officers are very much involved. It's big business, you know.
Yeah, it's big business. And the thing about it is that the government found a way to have budget debates. They found a way to do all these things. Well, then each entity has to find a way to still operate because COVID to me, it looked like till 2022 before we some way a little normal.
No,
again.
this thing is not over with and done. It's not. I hear some people are predicting next year. I don't even know. Our entire way of life has changed, huh?
Yeah, so we can't wait. We can't stop. We can't decide. For instance, the newsroom hasn't stopped. What they did is find different ways of operating. Some staff operate from home, some staff come in, some staff go home. They should take an example from the media. The media is still working 24 hours a day. So each entity should learn because if we keep doing this in this country, we will be going backwards. And again, I come back to the oil companies. I'm getting like Leonard. I don't know how I'm getting like you.
No, that's okay.
But these people have not said a word with everything that is going on. Only word they said is that if the deal takes too long, they're going to go away. The point is you've got to change it. You know that deal was wrong. You know that deal was lopsided and one-sided. That lady will cover the pension earlier. If the oil company itself could say, look, we're going to give every senior citizen, along with their pension, $10,000 a month. We can see that you care about the people. We can't argue. We say, yes, that's nice. You're getting something from the oil. At least the senior citizens are getting. There's just one idea. There are many ways that things could be done. And a shame, I am telling you, I was a member of the AFC. I shame to hear them talking about 50% of the contracts that are coming in 5 years. I didn't hear this. about it. I'll listen to comments after yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and those are some very good points. So we could probably take the last one because oil is something that is very dear to our heart. If we could get this oil deal right, and it's right that you weren't there, and it's so interesting that you did absolutely nothing with it while you were there, or now it's the time that you're seeing what are some of the big issues. But it is a fact. If we could just get maybe a percentage or two extra other than a measly 2% and what they say, it's not 50% profit that we get, and we know what is going to happen after they split the profits and so on. We could end up very much with very little because the oil prices was contemplated to be above a certain amount before we could get the kind of money that we were envisioning. We know oil prices are not looking so good. In the meantime, oil prices at the pump is raising, but Guyana is not getting anything better. So, you look at all these things here. We could do so much more for our people if our politicians could just understand, and I think they have an understanding, but they're going to be very firm because what you're dealing with here is a multinational company with years of experience on how to cause you to blink first or to buckle under pressure. You don't want that. What you need to do is spend some money and get some international negotiators onto the table here, people who are very tough as nails and who could slam the table down with their hands and said, this is what I need and I'm not going to get out of this room and you're not going to be leaving this room until we could decide to do that. Either this or no oil being pumped. So at the end of the day, these are things that we have to look at. Coming back to the school, this morning, I opened the door to the room where my little son was. He has his own little room, and he's doing his own classes there online. And I see that, and worries me every single day because there are a lot of kids that are not as probably as fortunate as he is. But he's sitting there on his phone, and I said, "What are you doing with your phone?" He has to wait until the classes start again. So I said, "You need to get off your phone. This is not a time for phone. Put it away and keep it for another time." I say that because he also told me last evening, they have the classes going on online, and they have three students fall asleep. They have Zoom meeting with the classes Zoom classes, and the Zoom persons who don't know what Zoom is, it's a program that allows the teacher to see all the students in the class. So you could be at your home, and I could be at my home, and the teacher's seeing everybody because they're seated in front of a laptop or a computer or a tablet or something, or even the phone, and she could see them. And three kids are sleeping, probably snoring or something like that. And he's shaking his head. This little boy, my son, is shaking his head and says, well, he can't understand how they could do it. But the reality is, when I think what the gentleman would have said there just now is that if there is very little supervision, that teacher's touch is what he's really talking about. In the absence of that person being there, the teacher being there to talk to those students, it's not the same thing. There's nothing that's going to replace a classroom. But we in a pandemic state. It's a very difficult thing to start thinking about school at the moment. You have to fumigate, sanitize those schools. Even the kids traveling, if you're traveling, you go into a minibus, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that you would have to, you put boarding on the public transportation system, and in so doing you increase the risk factors there. So the whole idea of closing the school is to reduce the risk factor. So it's a very difficult thing. I understand the difficulty and the challenges that the Ministry of Education is going through, but uh, where does that leave us? What are some of the answers to this? I think we'd have to grapple it day by day and hope that something gives. But at the moment, it's very clear that poverty and the absence of resources has really restricted and really pushed our poor people into a corner, and it's really shown very clearly the difference between the persons that have and the persons that do not have. And it also would send a very clear message to the authorities, to the politicians who should be looking on. I'm not saying who are looking on, who should be looking on, and understand. They have to understand that they have to do something about the situation. It might not be your children, but it could be the children of somebody who's very close to you, maybe a friend. It could be the children of your cousin. It could be children of your sister that they're not so fortunate and they don't have the problem that every family, if you have five children going to school and you have only one tablet or one laptop, what happens there? So these are the issues that we're dealing with. So, Raj, do we have another caller online? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're there. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I'm fine. How yourself?
Pretty good. You need to lower the volume on your radio. Just do that for me.
Yes, I cut it off.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I am a single parent
Yes.
and I am a diabetic.
Uh huh.
All my right feet, all my toes cut off from my knee go down, scope out because the
Wow.
pulse is walking up,
Uh-huh.
and I can't work. I just get public assistance, and that is just $9,000.
Oh, my.
And I have to pay bills and what have you. I have to maintain myself. I have a grandson staying with me, going to school. I don't have light. I don't have internet or nothing that he can learn.
Oh, my. And imagine you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your grandson, huh?
Really, yes, because only one term more yet in school for write exam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just begging that if I can get a help, like if I can get a grant, and I can start like a chicken business or something, and that can begin an income.
Where you live in?
Limlayer.
Limlayer. This on the quarantine?
Yes.
Um, if you could call me a little later, let me get a number there. I'm going to send this to the minister, and maybe they could probably look into this case here because I think sometime we have to see. There's so many people in diet. Call me a little later. Let me see what I could help. I could probably link. I wish I was a minister. I would have done so many things, but our hands are limited. But when you get in there, it's a different thing. You promise to do so many things, and when you get in there, then the bureaucracy and the red tape, and so
Yes,
you're held back.
I have the grandson, and he can assist me if I start doing like a chicken business and mind like some Creole fowls, and so that income can come in.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think. Call me 225-8491 after the show here, after 3 o'clock, and let's talk.
Okay, thank you. 225
8491.
8491.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank
God
you.
bless. All right, Leonard, and this is coming on the east bank of Berbice here. This is a Mohini Narayan, and she is in our Facebook page here. Here's what she has says. Leonard, please highlight this for all the people living on the east bank of Berbice. There's no landline telephone services in the villages from Rotterdam going right up to Mara. Many parents are forced to take wireless internet service for their kids. Presently, that service is no good at all. Students can't have access to internet. Data plan is too expensive for parents. Could anybody with a good heart see that we get GT&T landline service to accommodate the internet service? This is a very hard one. GT&T does not respond to any criticism. They have not responded to anything. They don't really care. GT&T is a very I'm not sure what kind of company I could describe them as. I think I've cussed them in so many different ways. But I understand what you're saying there, and this is for the East Bank of Berbice, and of course, from Rotterdam all the way to Myra. I'm really, really sorry. We'd have to ask our government to really get other telephone companies, but we're looking here maybe a couple of years, even if a telephone company comes, for them to provide those kind of services. Maybe what it needs to do is have a internet hub in the area where you could have people gather, but even that, you can't gather more than it would be in direct contradiction to the COVID-19 rules. So it is an issue there. I'm not sure how you solve that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. You know what bothers me? GPL. I live in Parfait Harmony. It have people meters away. It have people who meters take away by GPL, and it have GPL staff here that live in Parfait Harmony taking money to give them current without any meters. They come to my home yesterday to disconnect my current. My husband and daughter didn't get the month's salaries yet, so I didn't pay my bills yet. And I understand what you're saying there. I understand that very, very clearly. So here it is that people getting free light. The GPL people are dealing with this. Are given connection that is not so legal, and then they come in and take away meters from people who are legal but cannot pay the bill because they haven't received the month's salary. I'm really, really sorry, man. I'm really sorry. Um, I'm not sure what to say to that one. Good afternoon, sir. I want to know why gas station have to close. I can't understand that. There is a curfew. The business that are not in non-essential, you have to fill up in the morning, fill up whenever you can. And you're right. why should the gas station be closed? You have to close the business. That's what the COVID-19 rule says. Um, you might not agree with it, but it is. When will GCOM start issuing ID card? When will VAT be removed from the internet and telephone? GT&T for pensioners and school children. I'm not sure what's the point there. Um, um, all right. All right. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. Can I have a digital number that I could speak with you? I don't have a landline, please, and thank you. I am gonna send it to you in a very short while. Okay. Thank you very much. So, Raj, could you go back to our caller there? Thank you very much. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? I think we would have lost that caller, Raj. Yes. A better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Orinoco Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. And so, in the meantime, let us see what our people are saying here. If you're now tuned in to us, it's 2 o'clock thereabouts. We have like about 55 minutes to go. And guess what? You're tuned into your favorite daytime radio program, your favorite, and it's the biggest radio show on the afternoon. Wake Up Guyana with your host, Leonard Gildarie. And you are tuned in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. You also could get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. Do we have a caller online there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Gildarie.
How are you doing? Go ahead.
I see they had something about 93,000 people getting hampers, and you got to apply online.
Yes.
Right. When you apply, who are you addressing this thing to?
Well, don't do it as yet. They haven't said where it is that you got to apply online. They didn't say that all that. I presume as soon as this budget passed, I think tomorrow Friday is going to be passed, and then the president signs into it, and then it's business as usual. They're going to come out with the statements, and then they tell people how to do it. But this thing is going to take a little while because I don't see it yet happening. I believe most of these actions, what they're talking about assistance, including the $15,000 for students, the $25,000, I believe it's going to take a little while. I think it's going to take a little while.
The next thing, I see that they put in the papers that supermarkets must supply to serve the people in
Markets?
supermarkets.
Yeah, I think you can't just have any Tom, Dick, and Harry. What are they going to do?
No, but what I'm saying is they have a next statement that monthly. When I say monthly, what do they mean?
Well, I presume that when they come out with this thing here, they're going to have to say, I'm not sure if this is a one-off hamper that you're going to get, or it's every month that you're going to get a hamper. They have not said that. I think it's a very limited amount. They have put aside $1.8 billion.
Yeah.
That is to go to 93,000. I can't see that is going to go for another month. It can't be a monthly thing. It has to be a one-off something.
No, this 25,000 was asked for. When they had I see they had in the papers, the supermarkets must supply monthly.
No, this is aside from the $25,000. This hamper.
I know, but this just before this thing out that they had though.
Well, this is a card, and apparently, let me tell you what is happening. The government is grappling. They got some serious problem, and it's good that you raised that point. The government is grappling with this pandemic, and they are also grappling with the shortage of money and resources. Where do you find the money from? Where do you put the money? How much do you put into it? Could you afford it? And those are the kind of things. I think they'd have, for this $4.5 billion, which they put in to put $25,000, I think they would have to find some way of getting some kind of loan or something to get it from somewhere to put it in the people's hands. And I think it's a worthwhile venture if you don't have the money. But the issue is that the money is not coming just from the sky. They have to find it from somewhere. What do you cut? What do you not cut? It's a big issue. It's a big issue. Because many countries.
Here our next reason. Some people don't have things to go online.
Uh-huh.
How will it going to be?
Well, I think when they make an announcement, that those are the questions that got to be asked. I think in every villages or so, There's the NDC. Maybe you could do it through the NDC. There's a couple of things that could be done. But we would not allow them to make an announcement to everybody online because people are going to be very angry with that. What happened to the old people who don't know anything about the
Right,
computers
right,
and
right.
laptops and so?
Right.
So at that point in time, let me don't worry we had too much. When they make the announcement, I think they would have to put some other mechanisms in place in every village
Yeah.
that you could probably go to that person, the folks, and they could follow the name and they could do something. Or you could pick up the phone and call a number.
Okay, okay.
All
All
right?
right, thank you.
God bless you, my brother. Bye bye. All right, and so the Karen Smith is saying something after my heart here. GT&T needs to wake up, and this will only happen when other companies compete for your business. Right now, they know that you have no choice. It is indeed true. A very disrespectful company to the people of Guyana, and it's very sad that you know that it's a U.S. company too that has been taking our money out of this country and not delivering. And so any other investor that come here believe that he could walk all over the backs of Guyana and not see that people are going to talk about it. You have a rude awakening coming in. We are going to open our mouths and say to you that we're not going to tolerate this. So it is 226-7453, 226-7453, and you could send those texts to 62222. Let's see if we could read them. In the meantime, Raj, you could probably go back. Let's go back to the calls again. Do we have another caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. Go right
Hello.
ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to put something down there. NIS should have been at it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, could you lower your volume on your radio? I'm hearing the feedback.
Okay. Give me. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes. NIS should have been at it because I'm going to tell you something. There are some people who does not meet 750. And I know 3 persons. And they go there, and when I tell them I got 600 something, get a lump sum money. My age group. You know, they tell them come back some month. And when the boy go back to find out my money, he say, you don't draw the money, man. The boy say, I never draw a cent. The money don't keep out. The guy there, he already gone, even sick, he can't walk back when he make this contribution. That one said the government should add him. Now, when you get your book and you're dead, your NIS book, and they come the next day, you're dead today or same day they come. They take the book and they gone with it. In front of me, they're supposed to cancel all the page. If a 4-page, 5-page, 3-page, where am I take this thing and carry my NIS? What am I doing with it? Because he doesn't cancel in front of me. So all the money can be thief. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that money can thief, so they go hard come. And the next thing, they're going to make 3 call about the water. Even in minutes, they can't get the water. Because let me explain to you. They send wrong people here. Then do the PSI, I get 3 PSI, 4 PSI. After now, you see Paramahan, you not even get water, you sink. Flat out, what tell about? Flat out. You not even get water, you sink up to now. There's something wrong somewhere, man. We used to get water hard. What happened? Why you mean to send out somebody technical or somebody who come out by and get the people from the guy over the river and go and see this thing. Here the guy asked me if anybody broke. I say, hey, brother, no when I broke. These are the people he's coming, you open and he test the neighbor one. And he get what? He said, by the water pressure low. Me bring him in here. He said, me not walk over the pump. I mean, no water pressure. I want a water pressure. There's something wrong for me. And that thing's supposed to fix because remember, people depend on water. It's when you meet afternoon, like what, 10 to 5, I can't be in my bathroom. I got a full standpipe, and if I pee more hard in it.
What part is this?
This is CI.
CI.
All of it is a problem.
You know, I did ask something, and I'm going to have to ask the minister again. And the minister did indicate to me that he spoke to somebody there, and they're not complaining that it seems to be all right. I'm not sure.
I'm going to tell you. When they appoint me housing minister,
The
well was drilled for CIA. The waterman come bad. The guy was there and he come and he talked to him because I used to play for President Kopias Keravi when he was PYU. And I tell you something. He tell the guy right there and I'm going to blow the well for 1 week. And after I blow him, the water start come like for 95%. But in the morning, only I go on the smell after the other smell. Okay, well, they say, me and the guy, they said the water got Denham still. And Denham still got a pump, when I walk there. Now, what nonsense is really going? You transfer the water to Denham still. I used to get water for Denham still, right? Mm-hmm. They might ease the pressure that way for winter forest and thing, and we get. Mm-hmm. Well, lock up and get to go back and let it people get.
Right,
I just can't understand, brother. And the next thing again.
Uh-huh.
When you talk, I see these people are quarrel about this money, but the government will give 25 old age. You got a budget, and the budget say that you're going to get $25,000 a month. It means that this is a 2020 budget. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to start on October, the 25,000. Going to 2021 when the new budget going to come out. Is that so? Mm-hmm. Okay. Where, if they put it and then they got money and they can't pay retroactive or what to old age people, there are a lot of punishment with old age people, you know, man. Mm-hmm. Not for them thing, and then someone pick me, then up on bed, they pick me over, draw the money. You know, a lot of things. I hear a lot of things because I get an old age, man. I just go and I hear a lot of things. And it's shameful. It's very, very shameful.
I hear you, my brother. Thank you very much for
very
that.
shameful.
Right?
Some of them are draw the old people money and I give them and all this other thing.
Right.
And the next thing, you know, this 25,000 what the government say you give whenever, I think they should come each house with a voucher or something and take your ID card and put it on so nobody can fraud. Like I going to tell you something. These people, let me say, me going to got the children and me go claim he. Okay, me go get 25,000. Now the children gone with the wife. They was single parents. And the wife go claim and get. There are certain people going to do it, you know.
Well, we're going to know, and I think people are going to start talking now. This is a different time.
No, that's what I tell you, because when the 10,000, we had the flood, about Jagger added 10,000 to each house, right? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of shit people do. They said, I want, and this. And when the money start share out to say school, they run go and a man and wife and thing, you know, they put in. Mm-hmm. You understand? Let me tell you something. If you got 3 kids at work and you get pension, me not think you should take you 25,000 because you're not punished. Mm-hmm. You get what I show you?
Yeah.
Let the money go to do something else.
Now in CI there somebody is recommending that you get a couple of residents, and I did recommend this to somebody recently. Get a couple of the residents rather, and let them sign up a letter and just send it to the ministry or something, the Ministry of Housing and Water. Colin Crowell, the Minister of Housing and Water, he's a very proactive gentleman. The minute that I send a note to him, he gets cracking on it right away, and that's very good.
Me glad if the minister can.
No, so what you could do?
Me glad the minister can send somebody, right? From his office, and tell us what day you come here.
You hear what I'm saying? Yes. Just do that. Tell them, let the couple residents sign up something. Send it to the man and tell the man what you want.
You know, a lot of people are calling and then I get through.
Because it's one line we have. GT&T don't want to give us any other line. What do you want me to do?
Well, let them break their monopoly and give.
Well, it's not what we quarreling about. I mean, GT&T, they're bending. They have the neck. They have the knees on the neck of the Guyanese people.
Well, the president would break it down.
I think the vice president, Bajagdi, has made it clear that that's a priority for this government.
Intuition, right? They're online. And if you don't take the internet, you can't get line.
All right, I hear what you're saying there. So, thank you very much, sir.
Have a nice day.
Yes, goodbye. So, all the way from the west coast of Demerara there, from CI, we have the residents there complaining. We'll send it to the minister again. But what you guys do, if in your community that you have some problems, get a couple of the residents together, write a letter, put your names or your signature attached to it, maybe your phone number or so, and address it to the minister. Minister, so, it hasn't been fixed. Could you look at it? And if you seek up a morning that they think, the people them just gone in there, but if they don't know about your problem, they can't fix it. But they would take these letters, if it's coming to them, and they would pass it out to the people and said, act on this. So you need to start understanding what are some of the rights that you have, and some of the little ways that we could go about asking for assistance in your community. Just go get a couple of residents, maybe 10 or so, 10, 15 of you guys, sign up a letter and said this is a problem that's happening with Cornelia or Grove, Second Street, bicycle Fourth Street, Fourth Avenue, or whatever it is that's bothering you. You do that and send it to them and see how. And if you see you don't have any actions within a couple months, send it to the Kaieteur newspaper, and then let's see what happens. So I want to say good day too to WRES. I think what happened to you yesterday, my friend?
I didn't reach into the studio yesterday.
Okay, so he's absent. He absent from work. You guys are going to
Yeah.
dock his pay. So Riaz is going to be hitting. So some needs to be keeping us our company here because we could chit chat a little here. I know our president. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. And our president, Dr. Finale, was up in Berbice, New Amsterdam area this morning for the funeral of Harish.
Young Harish.
Very sad situation.
I saw some pictures. Very sad altogether. It shows you though that the government is very concerned of these murders. They're working assiduously to get all the leads and the necessary information as it is. We've all condoned those gruesome murders. So I wouldn't want to trace back on that because it was already a horrific, tragic times. Leading up to that weekend, leading into the week, leading into the killings.
We can't forget it though. Riyadh,
it's not going to be forgotten.
Because there's nonsense. Some politicians took advantage of that situation, destroyed it.
It escalated to a point where it ought not to have escalated.
I need to have answers.
And other than that, I've seen afterwards, you've seen and you've read reports of so much persons who were terrorized. I heard of a story of a family went, their passport was taken and they had to go back and pay, and that's just so, I feel the pain for those people. It was very tragic. So these things spill off and affect society, and it's an impact that will be there. Is that stain that will be there for a long time. Marvex or no bleach will be washing that stain away. It's already happened, and it's a stain on society. I just hope that persons could be more respected and more understanding about race games and the race playing games. And it is no longer taboo, and we should no longer be silent that, we can deal with the race thing some other time. Let us deal with it now.
Yeah. We must know the culprits, I must know your face, and I must be able to tell it to you.
Yes, it is something that we have to deal with now, because if we let these things slide, it will affect the next generation.
There's a couple of politicians and a couple of idiots that is around there, and I use the word idiots in a very, very
and a couple of fake profile on Facebook.
And they do it and destroy the pots and and I see a couple of them, including some former media persons too. And I have no doubt, and I have no kind of reservations in calling them out. But guess what? Very quickly, let us bring you some of those messages. Good afternoon, Leonard. I completely understand it's pandemic and everybody's facing hardship. It's everywhere in the world. Why all of a sudden Guyanese expect the government to take care of them? No one was complaining about this during the 5 months that the riggers were trying to steal the elections. All of a sudden they now expect the government to go out above and beyond to take care of them. And yes, you have the other side of the coin too. So a lot of people have expectations. And it is an issue that has been raised from time to time. We expect our government to do stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially when we have resources from the country. I think maybe now is a different time. We see people talking out a little more now. We see people becoming a little more brave. I kind of like that. Our conversation has gone to the next level. How can we benefit? It's no longer about fighting for which party going in. We're talking here about the quality of life. We're talking here about the pension. We're talking here about better roads, about maybe a house lot. We're talking things that could improve us. And
exactly.
So we have to also be talking about the quality of service that is coming from our politicians on both sides of the house.
Yes,
both sides of the house.
And we also have to talk about some of the I am not working with the government of the day. I'm not being paid by the government. So let us just say this as it is. I may have affiliations or may know government officials, but I'm not receiving at the end of the month a salary. But I'm concerned about the policies that has been made so it will better the people of Guyana. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I actually had a meeting today with, but the point I'm leading into is that I had a meeting today with the Foreign Secretary of Guyana, Mr. Robert Prasad, and he's been indicating to me of so much Guyanese want to do so much in Guyana. They've set up a unit, and it will be activated in less than 2 weeks. So individuals who are living abroad, you want to reinvest, you want to invest, you want to have closer ties, closer relationships. And this is an initiative that is spearheaded by His Excellency President Irfan Ali. So, there are things that we may not be aware of what's happening in the back burners, but sometimes, they will need to be. So credits need to be given. Whilst we are attacking and we are making points, I think credits needs to be given, because I see this as a great initiative for our foreign visitors, our foreign Guyanese who are living abroad, who want to come back and invest, and they were not given the right opportune moments at some point in time, and there's a special unit, according to the Foreign Secretary.
I think we have
the release. I think the release went out yesterday.
We have it in the Kaieteur news today.
So these are great points. These are another bonding relationship with us here and us who are out there as well. Another good policy. So we highlight the negatives, but these are the things that we also need to highlight, because they will foster good relations, and good relations only build way forward.
Absolutely, and we got to come up with these initiatives. Good afternoon. The water pressure in the Zealot housing scheme is very, very low. This is normal for many years now. We needed to improve now. Thank you very much for that. So can the president ask GT&T to improve their internet service? I don't know what to say there. Yeah, the president could do that. We want to go back to the yearly bill and not monthly for GWI, because meters are now working and they bill you incorrectly. I'm not sure. What is it about GWI? What is it that these guys are doing here? GWI need to get their act together, and you guys need to do something better. GPL also. And of course, don't let's go to GT&T. That's another one that is, they need to get their act together very quickly. We're going to continue to name and shame you guys, because the people are concerned. The people are concerned about pension, about what the utilities company bills, and more bills. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. The armed robbery in this country should be higher penalties. So as long as you're found guilty, to take off the finger and send them home, and don't do it again. One more finger. So this person here is saying chop off the fingers. I can't say that I could be able to back something like that. Dear sir, there's a group of young men who are the Tuition Housing Scheme entrants who are smoking and selling ganja and marijuana. Tuition Housing Scheme. How you didn't commando over there? I think it is who was the commando? Mr. Errol Watts. Mr. Watts, a good day to you. And here is it, a good resident of ours is saying that there's a group of young men who are the tuition scheme entrants who are smoking and selling ganja, marijuana, also molesting young ladies. No, you can't do that. And unfortunately, the police is turning a blind eye. Why is the police turning a blind eye? Mr. Errol Watts, how you doing? I'm going to be having a conversation with you in a very short while. I'm going to be sending Mr. Errol Watts a text. I don't like my young little sisters and brothers. We used to have in Diamond Grove area there, when I come out of 7th Street, the 7th Avenue where I'm living, in the morning when school was open, there's a big, strong policeman there, I think Mr. Johnson. Good day to you, Mr. Johnson of the Diamond.
I think I know that also.
Very, very strong guy. And if there's a policeman that's decent, he's one of them. And if I call him and I said, sir, I'm so, he says, I'm going to act on it right away. And he used to go on his the four-wheeler in front of the school, by the school area, because when there's a bunch of kids, the boys apparently they're not going to school, they're not working, they're not doing anything, and so the little school girls go in, they see, and they decide they can torment them, and the man would come up, what are you doing here? 1, 2, 3, let's go to the station right away. And I think a couple of them would be weeding or whatever it is at the end of the day. But we need to start doing things. I mean, if you're traversing the area the entire day, and you see in Gildarie, you see in Raj, and they ain't walking, they look as if they're looking suspicious. How do you look suspicious? As if you're standing there doing nothing. What are you doing there? It's the sun is hot, and you're standing there in the sun. What are you doing? You're tanning? You got to be something else that you're doing. So the police need to be paying attention. If you're in the community, it's not just driving from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's
Keep your
true.
eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. Pay attention. If you see something, you have a right to pull over. I stopped in my road this morning. I do that ever so often. A guy is um, building a train. They're fixing a house. They're building a house, and they're mixing on the road. I fixed the road. I tormented David Patterson till they come fix it, and they came fix it after the elections. So I said, "Wow!" But they mixed cement on the road, and I saw it last night. So I
Yeah.
stopped and I said, "Sir, after you finish doing it, you're not supposed to be doing it. Could you please clean the road? You have to make sure that it's smooth again. Don't leave the cement residue there." He says, "Could I have $200?" And I left it there. I said, "You need to clean the road." I didn't have $200, but I said, "You need to clean the road when you finish." So we need to pay attention.
We
If
need to pay
see anything,
attention.
we need
We
to
need
pay
to pay
attention.
attention indeed.
Raj, do we have another call online? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Please turn on your radio, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Mr. Gildarie,
Uh-huh.
I want to talk about the budget.
Yes, sir.
Now, the budget is a very good budget, but the pensioners are left out of this budget. The pensioners, they said that the pensioners will be given $25,000 as from 2021. So this year, the pensioners has nothing to get in the budget. We got to wait until next year to get the increase, which means that when next year budget read, the pensioners will not get anything in next year.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Go ahead, sorry, I'm listening.
Hello?
Yes, yes, go right ahead.
Good afternoon. I would like to say something too.
Yes.
I heard the government were saying that he's giving back people their jobs because he wants to put money in the pocket. Now, I was a nurse at the night shelter.
At the night
I was
shelter.
sent out-
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I sent off of my job actually because I care for the old people. And the administrator, she would be putting them out on the road, all they would be begging and have nowhere to sleep. She would say, you have pension book. If 10% said yes, she said, well, we could sit in, and they don't want to give it because she's collecting the money and keep it for them, right? And when I saw knowledge, she knew that there's something wrong. She's doing it. She have nowhere to go, and it makes her less vulnerable on the road, She,
I can barely hear you. There's a lot of noise in the background.
okay, well, I got to move away from the fan.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and she just be upset with me because she would be putting out all of these Indian people, and she would put out like 3 blocks. It didn't look bad. And when I get away,
Did you talk to your union?
Pardon me?
Did you talk to the union?
No, well, she sent me off of my job because of that. So I write a letter to the president. I write a letter to the minister since last
Which
month, and I'm
ministry? Which
waiting on a
ministry was
call.
handling that?
Minister of Social Protection. I wrote her a letter, but I haven't get a reply yet. I wrote the president a letter. I haven't get a reply yet because I want them to know the truth of this story. Because if they go to she house with the police, they will find a lot of things there.
Well,
And I'm home here
what
still
you need to
waiting
do is
on
get
my
down to the
job.
ministry office, the minister's office next week. I'm not sure if there's a public day, but Minister Vindhya Prasad, Dr. Vindhya Prasad is very approachable, and you should try to meet with her and let them talk about it. Do you fall under the public service ministry too?
Yes, yes.
You should
But
make a
this
complaint too,
particular
because they
lady,
can't.
This particular lady at the night shelter who need to go, she is 76.
No, well,
And
you need to raise
everybody
that.
got her.
You need to raise that because there's two sides to the story. So you need to raise that with them and let them investigate it.
Yeah, but I want to see her person.
Yes, go make the thing and go down and talk to the minister or somebody that is there that could talk. But if you fell under the Ministry of Public Service too, you should have a thing because you have some protection under that. There are laws that protect
and
you.
the gratuity,
Uh-huh.
she took all my gratuity back. She hasn't given me no gratuity. And now other staff are going through that same problem too with the
No, you need to take that matter up. You have some rights as a citizen, as a
Yes,
worker,
yes, I
and you need to
know.
bring those issues up.
I know, but I already take a letter. When I go back, they told me the minister already have my letter. So I want to know how long I have to wait for a call.
Well, that's a
That is
good
what
question.
bothers me.
I don't know. What I could tell you is that you keep on
Yes.
it. There's only one way that you're going to get it is by
Yes.
not giving it up. I used to call the
No, no.
minister
I
steady every single
understand.
day till they get upset with me. And they say, come in and let me look at you. I
Yeah, but
did
if
that
I
to
know
three
the minister
ministers.
number, I would call her.
Yes.
But I don't know her number.
All right. And this is Minister Vinay Prasad.
Yeah.
She's listed in the directory there, Minister of Human Services.
I don't have a directory. No, I'm at home right now.
Oh my, and I don't have a directory. I gotta start working with a directory up here too. I'm gonna try to get it. Give me a call a little later.
What is your number?
225-8491.
225
8491.
8491. That is your personal number?
No, that's our workplace number here. They gotta
Okay,
get
well,
me.
I'm going to go down to the bottom of the story and tell you what I can't tell you over the radio.
All right, ma'am. I hear you very much. Good.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Good. So, good day to you, and this is the Wake Up Guyana Show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and in the studio with us, keeping our company here, is W.R. Riaz. He's going to be on with his show in a very short while. Can't miss that. Lots of energy there, lots of music, lots of gaffing.
Yeah, indeed. Are you paying attention to the airport fiasco?
Yeah, very close attention. So the president was taken to the airport, and what the president, you know where the area is located? Let me tell you, there's some stories that's coming out here. There's some stories coming out here. This contractor came to the government. The first thing is that the vice premier of China came to the Caribbean and says, look, I have some money to give to you guys. So you have to come up with contract. This is in 2011. So this company here, out of the blues, this is a story that we learned afterwards. China Harbor.
Correct.
This is a company that was given the contract, the $150 million contract, which is going above the $150 million now. And that company came in and said, I could build an airport for you. And this is what I am going to do. I'm going to put in this big building. It has glass roof. I'm going to put in 40-something flat screens. I'm going to put in escalators and elevators.
And 8 hubs.
Yes, 8 air bridges. These are the things that you walk from the airplane
straight into
the
the dome.
You don't have to walk on a tarmac or anything. The Secretary of State came recently, and we have a brand new airport. What's supposed to be a brand new, right? And the Secretary of State walked on the tarmac because those things, the foundation where the bridges were supposed to be resting on, so very weak that the thing started sinking, so they had to stop using it. In any case, this company comes and says, we're going to build this. This is a price for it. Guyana signed on to it. You know what happened? Instead of giving us a new terminal building, we have a renovated terminal building. So right away, your costs are supposed to go down. But no, the price remained at $150 million, so where did the money go?
Yep.
So the president went down, and the people, the Chinese contractor representative, their officials told the good president.
The Chinese ambassador was there as well, too.
Yes, but he did something good. He says, we have to find a way. This is definitely not acceptable. Here, the Chinese, the representative of the company told the president, here, chief, we had to do some other stuff, so we had to adjust. The president said, no. You signed a fixed price contract to do certain things.
The figures is interesting because the government owes the CGI contractor $23 million. This is US we talking. But the previous administration allowed them to reverse the contract, exclude US $67 million.
So where did the $67 million
It works. Exactly. It gets interesting more in this piece I'm giving you. Worse yet, they could not account for $11 million US. I heard that His Excellency, President Ali, says that every person from the procurement officer to the former minister, board officials, contractor, everyone will now must and have to be answerable to the people of Guyana, in this case, to the current administration, where these monies went and what was supposed to be contracted didn't contract.
Riaz, there's nothing you can tell me about it. We investigated this program from day one. This project was not even signed. It was signed in Jamaica. But here the issue is, this company here came here and got concessions like equipment. They got a sandpit. They give them a sandpit.
Yeah, just outside
You
the
know what they
airport.
did? They got a contract to build a movie town. They took sand out of that sandpit. They used the trucks that they were given for the airport there to carry sand down there. This company finished movie town, and 10 years later, this is a decade later, this company can't finish the airport. You want to hear how sweeter or how more stinking it becomes? This company was able to get a contract now to build the Pegasus expansion. The
Yeah, they're doing
contract
it.
is almost complete because it's just a fine to couple fine finding. And you know, so there's a couple of lessons to be learned here. Is it good to work for the private sector or is it good to work for the public sector? The big issue, we paid a company. It's a company, I think Triple M, and a local company, I think Semco. They came together with a Canadian company to supervise this project. So what were you supervising if this, I mean, did you submit? Because before you could get payments, this company has to submit some reports.
Exactly.
So where did
Exactly.
$150 million go? The president has made it very clear. I am not going to accept this project, and we should not accept any nonsense that is coming from them. This company here was also earmarked to get a contract um, in a gold mining company with the locals being kicked out from there. This is what we understand. Well, there's an on-site. I hear AGM now. There's a rural gold miner saying that it's not true, and they are blaming the private sector commission of getting the facts wrong. So we're going to probably bring that to you. But it is what it is. In the meantime, let's go back to the callers again. We have some callers coming in. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Good afternoon, my brother. Go ahead.
Um, the pensioner that called is saying that $25,000 is not enough. That are a shameless bunch of people. We have our old people not able to live on 1 week for 25, just barely $100 a month. The foreigners coming and working our field paying thousands of US dollars a month. They're not paying a single cent of taxes.
You get the idea. You know what's going on.
In Suriname, is 6% taxes, 6.5% royalty, and 32%, 36% taxes. Right? 36 and 6 is 42%. Suriname, they have to pay 36% tax. It's a small unnamed company. Have you ever heard of Apache Oil and Gas before? Almost nobody heard about Apache Oil and Gas. If Apache Oil and Gas could pay Suriname 6.5% taxes, 6.5% royalty, and 40.
Well, they didn't give it to them. The government demanded it.
Right, but the new government, they are saying the PSC made made a bad deal, and yet they have no intention of doing anything. So why do you accept a bad deal? Okay, when I heard that President Irfan Ali read the riot act to China Harbor concerning the airport, why doesn't he read the same riot act to ExxonMobil?
Well, very good question. Very good point. So sometimes we have to continuously, how you say it, we have to continuously remind our politicians, let them understand where the place is.
Glenn Lal is a national patriot. The man should be given Guyana's highest award for focusing on this. Because also another thing, no foreign company should be given any duty free on any equipment. They're already making a killing off the profits that they're making. If you can't make a profit in Guyana, we don't want you to stay away.
Well, there's another side to the story. You talk about concessions. They're giving, containers and containers of stuff to bring in. One company that was given they came here to invest, and they invest in forestry. And that company was selling steel, competing with our hardware stores. That company name, I'm not going to be afraid to call it. Baishanling.
It's the same Chinese company, of course. Not only that, the same Baishanling, they brought in all the trucks duty free, and those trucks were competing. The Guyanese truckers cannot get the contracts to fetch a log or fetch the sand. The same Chinese company brought in the trucks duty free, and then using that to compete with Guyanese truckers. I mean, where else in the world can this nonsense happen?
Well, this company did a lot of things. What it did, they kept out the locals, and they started using this Chinese company, which is China Harbor, was using another company, a disgraced company that was here, that was kicked out. The name is Baishanling, using the trucks to do the airport to fetch sand. So there's all kind of madness that's happening. And guess where those equipment are right now? doing gold mining in the bush. What's wrong with our people?
Baishan took our money that they raped our forest and they invested by the gold mining land. And Baishan is one of the biggest gold mine in the country right now.
You know, but if you know some information, you got some pictures, I send them to me because at the end of the day, it's our money. And when they take out these cash, if you see what is happening, I was told recently
Gildarie?
that,
Oh, no, you listen to me, please. Gildarie.
yes, sir.
Dear, I was in India. If you see what these Brazilians and Brazilians also, if you see the environmental damage they're doing in the bush, I was at Kurupung the other day, and I could not believe my eyes. And do you know what, Gildarie? The mining station is not even 1 mile away. The mining station, the GGMC mining station, is not 1 mile away from where this is environmental damage these Brazilians are doing. And the Brazilians take away, they smuggle all the gold away out of the country to Guyana, and all we are left with is the environmental degradation and damage that we and our children have to live with.
But you know who's making the money? Not the country is making the money. You know who's making the money? The money is being made. You should see how the mining officers drinking, man. Them boys get absolute Heineken, all the most fanciest, all the Hennessy's and everything, man. What is happening to the authorities? They're not saying?
The mining station is not even half a mile away, and the all this damage, they breaking in the river. You understand? They damage the river, they damage the river banks. All this illegal stuff they're doing at the mining station is not even half a mile away.
They're taking money. Is that at the end of the day? Let me tell you something else too. If I decide to tomorrow morning drive with a Lexus or maybe a BMW and come to work tomorrow morning, Glenn is going to look at me in a very funny manner. You know why? Where is Gildarie getting this money from? If you're working there at GGMC or wherever it is, and you see your officers driving with big SUVs coming to work, or they're putting up a 3-story, 4-story building, how does a customer officer who has a salary of so much afford to put up a 3-story house with a pool on top? Who does those kind of things and nobody says anything about that?
It's a sad, but it's just our resources that the same old people who work their life have because they deserve.
But we can't blame the foreigners, you know. You know that we can't blame the foreigners.
Definitely, that's what I'm saying. Gold mining should be, okay, we have oil now and the government is collecting oil with foreign currency money for oil reserves. We the Guyanese cannot do oil. We cannot do oil exploration and production. So the gold mining should be left strictly for Guyanese alone. Like this AGM and now the Chinese company that's taken over, we can't allow that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They could do all the mining for oil, but all the gold mining that should be only left for Guyanese citizens alone. I mean, that is because we have to live with the environmental damage. They do all this damage.
That should be for, let me put it this way. I think what you want to say there is that they should be leaving that for your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren.
Exactly.
All right? You get it.
Not only that, when the Guyanese, if a Guyanese mining, the money stays in Guyana, right? Or most of the money stays in Guyana. We should not allow the environmental damage, and then they damage the country, and they take all the gold and they go and leave it. Right?
I hear you, my brother. Thank you very much for that contribution.
You guys have a good one.
You too. Good afternoon. I just want Guyanese to be realistic and reasonable. The 2020 budget was put together hastily just so the government can decide on finances for a plan of action for the remainder of the year. The year is almost finished, people. The officials are in new seat, still trying to figure out what was done and what needs to be done. Stop expecting and complaining about the increase in salaries and pensions and whatnot. Give the officials a chance to use the remainder of the year to get their acts together and decide on a plan of action. Come 2021 and its new budget, we can then hold them accountable for promises made. Be reasonable, man.
As you bring that point at the same time right there from that individual sent you that message, let us also reflect that this budget, other than it's just to serve that final 4 months or there's about for the year, it is also, we've heard this from VP, saying that it is servicing debts as of January to August, of monies that was already spent by the previous administration. Mm-hmm. So let us take that into consideration as well. Yes, it is a tough time for all of us. Listen, all of us are feeling the squeeze. Don't feel, that WR is not feeling a squeeze. Yes, funds have been reduced, funds have been cut for lots of us, including me. So let me put that out. But yes, I understand the plight of everyone. But let us understand as well, give the government a fair opportunity to work for the people as it is. And let us also remember, I'm missing the actual figures. I don't want to just call a random figure, but a large chunk of the budget is paying debts of monies that was spent by the previous administration.
Yes, thank you very much. And so Tommy Prasad is saying that these Chinese companies are all owned by the government of China. Think about it, Tommy says. So that is a good point. All these companies that come in here and says that it is China Harbor, whatever. It's Chinese company
Chinese
that
company.
has the shares are owned by the Chinese government. So let's get it right. The ex-government who legalized small, the ex-government who legalized small amount of weed to smoke, most of our youth is smoking, and they get high in success. Have a lot of youth
The
using
government,
weed.
the
I would-
government didn't.
Yes, I think this is what the person is right. And I would take some pictures and send you, and they call the police, and they don't come. And when they do come, they would take I don't know what it, they take
But
something.
but we
it's a
didn't. But we
success.
didn't. But we did not legalize it. There were discussions.
I think what they did is just that
They ask for
the
relax penalties
Right,
on an
right,
individual, but they let us not be misled that if you're caught with weed, it's not an offense. It still is
it's
an
an offense,
offense.
it's still-
You still could be jailed. What was called and lobbied from the previous government is for if a man get maybe I don't know
Small
a
amount,
small amount to
not jail, no jail.
reduce his time. That is what I was made. However, on the other spin-off, if you get what is called a roach, do you know what is a roach?
Not really, but tell it to me. What's a roach?
Not a cockroach or run You know what's a spliff?
Yes, I know what this
All
is.
right, a roach is a spliff basically. If you have in possession a spliff or a roach in Barbados, it is legal right now, and this happened about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but you can't surpass, and that's like about half ounce, or there's about a spliff. If you're in possession with a spliff in Barbados, it is now legal actually in Barbados.
And everybody, including the policemen, are smoking. My kids would say, "I'm passing. Hold on." It says, "Well, we passed down there, and that's a drug yard." And the policemen are parked up in front there. They're taking the spliff in there. I know what's a spliff.
You know what's a spliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my view. The thunderstorms that are happening quite frequently could be as a result of Exxon flaring the gas. It has affected the atmosphere along the coast. Mr. Gildarie, this country is sheer run-ins. Yes, it's mere run-ins in this place. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. I would like to know if you have any idea when ID card will be distributed. Yes, this is something I got to
I've
find
heard
out.
a lot of persons been asking this about his ID cards. I know that one of my cousin did register during that period of time, and she got her ID card. So I'm not sure why it is slow up in other areas, but I know that she was a first-time voter, and she registered at the same time. She received her ID card promptly, a couple of days, well, a few days before the elections altogether.
Probably had some friends.
No, there were no friends.
She just apply for it.
They came, they were doing that walk around as it is. She applied, she filled out her form. We follow up with the GCOM office in the area, and it was available. She went and collected. So I hope those persons could
But
get
you could
their
probably, I
ID.
think the Secretariat should be working. Why the GCOM commissioners are not working? Well, they're not meeting as I don't think they've met us yet. But I think the Secretariat is still working. But let me find out, because somebody's asking a question here. I heard that smart meters, and I think this is the GPL smart meters, can cause a lot of health issues, and it was banned in some countries. Can you investigate and shed some light? I'm not sure, you guys, if you know, maybe we could probably talk about this. A signature campaign should be launched to get GT&T to break the monopoly. I think I'd be leading this campaign. Hi, good afternoon. Would like to see the security force who do not pay the workers for the security force for the month of August. Oh, hi, good afternoon. Would like to know why the security force did not pay the workers for the month of August up to now. Is this you talking about the GDF, the army? I'm not sure. I need some more clarification there. Or is it a private security firm? Hi, good day. Hope all is well. Please provide some info on how to apply for the COVID-19. The government has not said anything as to how. Well, they did say how. They said it's online. They have not said where. So we're waiting on that information. In the meantime, let me see what else we have here. Leonard, the number of foreign affairs is wrong. 206. It can't be 206. It got to be 226. 226 1606, extension 339 or 340. It's 226. It cannot be 206. 226. So call that, right? So in the meantime, do we have some? Could we take one more call there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sorry, calling to tell you here about GT&T.
Oh God, here we go again. Go ahead.
Sir, GT&T, my phone was not in order from the 29th of July. I called in GT&T at the said time. They gave me a reference number and said within 9 days the technician will be there. Anyway, between the 9 days, the two technicians came. They came, they went on the pole, they didn't come in the house. They go on the pole and they left and they gone. They didn't tell me what happened. When I called back 00488, they call me, they tell me that I have a problem with my what you call it, the cable. That it will take 2 months to replace. Anyway, I keep calling 0488. Well, I check the directory, you got the next number, 0904, 0907. When I call that number, I get an answer, and between 2 days, two guys came, two different guys. They came, they went in my house, they know the little box for the phone.
Yeah, I know that.
Connector. The man go in there, and the phone bang on again. So now today I call them. Yesterday I received a bill that I have to pay bill for last month. Last month, all month, me no use no phone.
But you still got to pay some rental or something? How much they ask you to pay?
But sir, you think I is fair that you got to pay a rental for something that is not operating?
I think and that point has been argued time and again. If you don't get the service, whether you pay the rental, I think you could probably approach the PUC, because I don't think you should. Well, if you don't pay them, they could cut you off.
Sir, I talked to the PUC already.
And what the PUC says?
Then them tell me I got to pay.
You got to pay it?
Yes.
Well, me don't know what to tell you that by.
Right,
PUC, but it's a difficult one. But I get your point there that, sometimes GT&T, not sometimes, GT&T got to do far, far better.
Sir, GT&T robbing the people, sir. Let me tell you, I just work security and they're rich people. They don't have to call GT&T online. They see them and they call them and give them a raise, and they look after their phone and they gone. That is how they operate. They don't call them, on customer care and them things. They just call them and they see them and call them and they do it. So let me tell you something. I fed up with GT&T. GT&T gave me a phone. Working. After 8 months, the phone now work. We put it on the fireside, over the stove, when we cook, and the bang on, you go again. And the same little box.
Wait. It cooks?
So the phone cook.
Start to work again.
Oh, God, I know.
So easy. Drive the phone and give you.
But wait, what kind of phone? You talking about the landline phones or a cell phone?
Landline phone I'm talking about, sir.
Landline.
You give me some hard thing. I ain't go so far in school for answer them questions. You just tell me there. But I hear what you say, man. It's really, really frustrating.
Sir, it's very, very hard. Let me tell you something. This government have to get rid of GT&T. It's not me alone, sir. Because some people can call you all or something.
No, on behalf of our guy, needs to trust me, the monopoly is going to be broken, because this is not something. This pandemic has exposed what GT&T has done to us. It's simple as that.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, sir.
God bless you. I think we run out of time now.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Have a good day. So on behalf of all Guyanese, I'm going to have lunch in a very short while. But it's been a pleasure, There's a little funny attempt at a joke there. But
but that's an ongoing
big issue.
There's no doubt about that. And We all suffer from it. I did on numerous occasions, so it's not like it never reached my doorstep as well. But I'm hoping for, it's a long shot hope. But I do know, like you've mentioned earlier, that it is an industry that will be open. We've heard over and over, and especially from the Vice President.
I would like to
about
see
it.
a $5,000 internet that gives you about 56 megs that you can pay about $5,000 per month, and it's going to happen because competition brings down price, it improves quality, it brings
That's
out the
true.
best in us. So let's see what happens. So
Correct.
this has been a wrap. This has been your edition of the Wake Up Guyana show with your host Leonard Gildarie. And if you've missed us, you could get us back on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. And we would have been coming to you on 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo, and of course 99.5 in Berbice. If I missed you and I've forgotten but you, it isn't that. I have so many things on my plate. But I want to say good day to all the people up in Berbice and Demerara and Essequibo. And whether you were seated in the car, whether you were a hire car driver, taxi driver, minibus driver, whether you're a passenger in those things, whether you're a housewife or a house husband, whether you're in your kitchen garden or lying in the bed, I want to say good day to you. I hope that we've been able to entertain you, whether we've been able to uplift your life, bring some positivity, positive things into your life. I want to say good day. And of course, to all the folks who've been joining us overseas, Canada, the US, and of course, Europe and across the Caribbean here, our neighbors. It has been a pleasure. We're going to be back same place, same time with you tomorrow. And we're going to have some more conversation. In the meantime, stay safe, wear those masks, wash your hands, protect your family, and make Guyana safe again. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
COVID-19 tips sponsored by Dex Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Dex soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Dex soap for that extra cleanliness. Dex soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 90.